Is there a way to be financially free just by saying I'm going to earn more every year as opposed to investing every year? Can you do it without investing at all, or do you have to invest? And when you say put it in the market, you mean put it in index funds? Is what I'm hearing.
Well, in the book I explain you've got to have diversification.
Right. And don't just throw it in a stock and just
no. And
leave
what
it
most
there.
people do is they go to a mutual fund and they think it sounds logical. I'm no good at this. This is not my skill, a person says. You go to a professional who runs a mutual fund. What do? They figure out a series of investments to make. Mm-hmm. They put it in the fund and they do it for you. And you think, well, gosh, they're smarter than I am. They'll do well. You assume that, but the truth is they charge so much that even if they did have an advantage, they lose it. I interviewed David Swenson, who's the head of chief investment officer at Yale. It took Yale 200 years to get $1 billion that they saved. He turned it into $25 billion in 2 decades. Wow. It's unheard of. He's the greatest institutional investor of all time. And one of the things that he told me, he said, Tony, you just got to understand something. He said, you're never going to earn your way to wealth. He said, how many people have you seen, movie stars, actors, athletes? The other day, 50 Cent just went broke, right? Yeah. He made $100 million on vitamin water alone. Somebody gave him a tip, and he had half a billion dollars, and he's broke, completely broke. Mike Tyson made $500 million and went broke. The answer is, you can make a fortune. Elton John didn't go bankrupt because it's different rules in England, but he got in trouble. Who I just saw the other day is, what's his name? The Pirates of the Caribbean. What's his name?
Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp. Yeah. Johnny Depp's going bankrupt right now.
Really?
Johnny Depp was worth $700 million, $750 million. He's on the verge of bankruptcy right now, can't pay his bills. He was paying $30,000 a month on wine alone, right?
My gosh.
He spent $3 million to take Hunter Thompson's body, burn it, put the dust into this giant cannon and shoot his dust into space, $3 million. It doesn't matter how much money you earn, you can always get rid of it and lose it. Buy an island and watch how quick it disappears.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So what I show people is, what you really want to do is create an income for life without working. Mm-hmm. The goal, if you own a business, and I would assume a lot of your viewers are business owners or getting started in business, no matter how good you are in business, think about this. The one universal rule that idiots in finance know is diversification. It's the only free lunch. You got to diversify. Because if you put all your eggs in one basket, no matter how good the basket is, one day that real estate market, that stock market, that bond market, that collectibles market, whatever you invest in, Ray Dalio showed me statistically, it'll drop 50 to 70% on a day. Now, if you're later in life when that happens, it's over for you.
Right.
So you have to diversify, and yet most people, they know real estate, so they do it, or they know stocks, so they do it, or they grew up with their parents flipping things, and it's the wrong thing to do. Mm-hmm. So you've got to diversify in order for you to be able to truly succeed, and that's why when you own a business, if you put all your money in your business, which is what most of us do naturally,
it's a lot of risk.
You put all your eggs in one basket, and there's things that can happen. I mean, let's say you spent 20 years and you figured out how to put together the ultimate map, and you remember Garmin came out with this thing called the TomTom. I don't know if you remember, you used to put on are you old enough to remember that? You used to put on your phone? Or you used to put on your dash. Cost $100. It was a breakthrough.
Most people know very little about themselves. They think they're their body. You're not a body. You have a body. And you have a marvelous mind. And when I first started to study this, I thought, studying the mind, that's for psychiatrists, psychologists, behavioral scientists. And the man that told me, he said, no, it's not. He says, that's for anybody. That's for little kids. And so I think as we start to understand something about our mind and something about our higher faculties, see, we're all programmed to live through our senses. We go by what we see, hear, smell, taste, touch. Well, I've got a little dog at home that can see, hear, smell, taste, touch. All the animals in the world, they're completely at home in their environment. They blend in. They operate by instinct, which is perfect. We had instinct removed, and we had higher faculties put in their place. And if we would study these and gain an understanding, your self-image would automatically start to improve. You have perception, the will, reason, imagination, memory, and intuition. Those 6 faculties will give you the ability to create your own environment. See, we're totally disoriented in our environment, where all the other little creatures are completely at home in theirs. And we're disoriented in ours because we can create our own, but we don't know that. School doesn't teach us that. School is more interested in the development of your intellect than in the development of awareness. Like, a person doesn't earn $100,000 a year because they want 100 a year. They earn 100 a year because they're not aware of how to earn 100 a month. Awareness is really the key. And when we become aware of who we are and what we've got working for us, marvelous things start to happen to us. And that's really what happened to me. I never went back to school. I built a very successful company. It operates all over the world. I didn't do it myself. I have a tremendous team of people. I've got just an absolute genius of a business partner, a woman who's an attorney. I mentioned to you before, you should have her on sometime. You'd be fascinated with her. She's that interesting. But it was a group of people. We've attracted a phenomenal group of people in our company. Mm-hmm. And we're operating now in 91 countries.
Wow. Teaching this information.
I don't know another company that teaches what we teach. Like, I think Tony Robbins has probably done more for our industry than any individual. The Secret has probably done more for it, as much as Tony has, the movie. But I don't know anybody else teaching what we're teaching. And what we're really doing is teaching people how their mind functions and how to expand their understanding of how it operates.
The thing that people misunderstand about success is they're looking for the easiest way to get there. When everybody goes 5 easy steps, 10 steps to greatness, those steps for success, they're infinite. They are infinite. You cannot count them. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. Those steps are constantly shifting. You don't know if they're there. Sometimes you have to trust that the next step is going to be there when you can't even see it. And sometimes when you step on that step, you go right into quicksand. But you got to be able to pull yourself back out of it again. So everybody's looking for these steps, and there are no steps. Those steps never end. And you just can't climb steps. Sometimes you got to crawl those steps, and you finally get... to the top, and everything shifts.
Every aspect of our life is the way it is. And then the degree to which we have a narrative or commentary about it being the way it is, but we want it to be different, that difference is the degree to which we suffer. When I'm truly in harmony with what is, then there is no resistance. And based on the fact that we've got this linear time game, I can still be committed to where I'm going or what I'd like to create, but it is the way it is right now.
Tonight, the question that I ask you is what things in your life are you going to give a funeral to? What things in your life have to die? What things in your life have been keeping you from seeing the greatest version of yourself? Have been keeping you from knowing your worth? Have been keeping you from seeing how special you are?
This one fact would change their life forever. You don't get skills because it looks good on a resume. You get skills because it lets you do the thing you want to do.
The stronger the emotion you feel from some outer experience in your life, the more altered you feel, the more the brain freezes the frame and takes a snapshot. Well, now you're freezing a frame in the outer environment. But if you're truly in the present moment and you know exactly what you want, when the heart moves into this kind of rhythm, when you're feeling frustration, when you're feeling impatient, when you're feeling resentment, you are stepping on the gas pedal. The heart is pumping against a closed system and it causes an erratic beating. It becomes incoherent. And energy literally leaves the heart. Now, you no longer believe in your future. You can't put your heart into your future. You can't trust the outcome because there's no energy there. It's being used and consumed somewhere else, so energy is leaving the brain as well. But once energy starts to move into the heart,
to transform your life, you want to do it in 2 minutes. So is that what your life is worth? So if your life is worthwhile, is it not important? That you invest a certain amount of time and energy, rather than looking for this stupid stuff of one mantra with which I will transform my life. It will not happen like that. That's the reason why most people have remained the way they have remained, because they've not invested in their well-being.
The space between our ears, we don't have control over it. A lot of other people have set shop in it. They're like, they've like taken the most expensive real estate in the world. You gotta make sure you control that battlefield that's going on in there. It's your space, it's your mind. You're going to have negative thoughts. You are. Just changing your thought is not gonna change your action. It may change your perspective, but you still have to continue to push forward.